Welcome to the world premiere of The Diaries of Desk on Desk with Wheat and Shaw as your host. Please stay tuned after this premiere for the live stream of the actual Chili Bowl event going on today. That's right, the last Sunday of October is the Super Chili Bowel Show. Super Chili Bowl Sunday by Wheat and Shaw. Super Chili Bowl Sunday is the last Sunday of October, and the tradition is a giant bowl of chili to be eaten out of the biggest bowl possible by hundreds of people. And here is my story. I am now chopping off Mary's head with a two-man saw from 1929. I am now chopping off Mary's head with a two-man saw from 1929. We first need to go over which neck wrinkle we will start cutting so we don't accidentally decapitate her during this procedure, even though the big fucking bulbous mushroom head will be completely severed. We also need to make sure she's not going to squirt insane amounts of blood, so we will need Felicia there to help with that situation. But Felicia needs to make sure she is not in the way of the goddamn saw. It will take 8 hours to chop off Mary's head using a two-man saw like this because we have to make it just right. At first, we will need to do the proper stretches so that our arms won't get tired after a few hours. We will need to start slowly to make sure we started the correct neck wrinkle and canyon. Neck wrinkle slash canyon. The first cut is not necessarily the deepest, but that won't stop us from trying to love her again with a secondary incision. We will pierce the epidermis and enter the fucking whale blubber at a fast back and forth pace. After we pass the whale blubber and or tree trunk knots in her neck, we will reach some bone. That is a delicate procedure. This is where we want to slow the back and forth motion with the saw to keep her head still to the best of our abilities. Marcia and her team of giant mushroom head holders will be at the top of the ladders slash scaffold holding her head in place. Felicia is not going to allow blood to spill anywhere. Okay, now we're getting through the bone and the rest of the whale blubber. The oak tree knots should be easy to get through. Once the process is over, Felicia will put a bottle cap on the body and preserve the body inside a lukewarm room while we turn her beautiful fucking Mario Kart mushroom head into a goddamn Texas chili bowl with cheese and crackers. Now that we have made it through the main process, we must now remove the skull, the brain, and the eyes very delicately and place them all in special incubators to keep them alive. A good goddamn donkey punch on the back of the mushroom head and and the eyes should detach and fall out quickly. And I will have my hands there to catch Mary's lusty eyes. Then we will pull the hair and remove the face and hair from the skull, like pulling off a tight ski mask. And brain, because pulling them out from the neck region could cause permanent damage. So the grab and pull very slowly method works best. We will not let the brain fall out. We will gently grab it and deal with it and place it in the world's most reliable incubator to keep it safe. The skull will act as a decorative piece in conjunction with Halloween, also befitting her daily life anyways. Now, who is ready for a fucking bowl of chili while we discuss the first 57 Super Bowls? Look at all these tables filled with these wonderful cheese dips, chips, and that big bodacious bulbous bowl of delightful chili. We have Cool Ranch, Flaming Hot, and Nacho Cheese Doritos all complementing each other on one big silver Fletcher platter. We have 403 people here. Most of them are gawking at that realistic looking Mary Texas chili bowl. They will eat the chili because it's that time of year to celebrate. as the people trickle on over to the pig table. We have all started talking about the ranking of the Super Bowls in order. Dig in, everyone! Once the Super Chili Bowl event is over, we will put the brain back into the skull, eyes back into the skull, and the skull back onto the head. And we will then attach the head back to the body with fucking love. Sandy, our beautiful seamstress, will then delicately sew the head back on using very thick shoelaces, all tied together, because they do not make 8-mile long shoelaces for surgery of the reattachment kind. Marcia will once again hold the goddamn head in place. Felicia will return to try to stop the fucking blood splatters, because our miser landlords will not replace the floor. Once everything is all finished, Mary will then spend 2 months tied to a stretcher with yarn so that the neck bone will use its own bone marrow to reattach itself to the bodacious body. This allows time for whale blubber to also start building back in the upper neck, cheeks, and create the loving mushroom head we all know and fucking love. The first 2 months are the hardest because it's like she's giving birth in her neck and face to fresh whale blubber. The blood will take time to get back into that wonderful head of hers that will eventually lead her to believe she should have been on contraceptives when having sex at one time in her life. After the first 2 months are over, the next 3 months will be spent tickling her sides to make sure she has feelings and rubbing cow leaves on her face and nose to let her refamiliarize with going home soon. She has to try not to move around though, because her whole head will be inside this 3-ton contraption designed to keep her head from moving at all. When the 3 months are over, our seamstress will return to remove the first 3 miles of shoelace. Another 2 months will pass, and the rest of the shoelace can be removed, as long as that beautiful, bodacious behemoth makes positive progress across the board. 12 long months have now passed, and she is now able to get into her double wide wheelchair and finally go back to her barn. Thank you, Mary, for giving us the best first annual Chili Bowl event. Although the goddamn chili wasn't as hot as it should have been, the shredded cheese complemented the chili, the crackers, and the table of chips. Next year. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the world premiere of the Diaries of Desk on Desk with Wheat and Shaw. Now go ahead to Wheaton Shaw's and check out his live stream immediately following this premiere. Shaw again. Mary has again volunteered and to cut off her fruity fucking hot dog fingers to be chopped up into little pink discs to be put in our hot dog chili cook-off. The end.